this computer, so I should do that. There we
Hmm.
go. I started checking things instead of hitting the record button. If I checked everything and then didn't hit the record, that would have been fun.
Yeah.
Checked everything except hitting the record button. That's bad news. But I did because
What's
now
that?
people hear what this is. They're hearing this.
Weird. I think
That is
my
weird.
notes got all scrambled.
Oh, okay.
What are they hearing?
They're hearing this because it's recording.
It's bad.
Mm.
Okay. Wait. Is this podcast 1999? It is.
Yes, it is.
Welcome to
You know what? That's the intro. That's it. That's it. Don't do
no.
another one. Wait, is this podcast 1999? That's perfect. Okay. It
Okay,
is.
we're returning to the podcast 1999, returning to the Planet of the Apes, returning to
So many
the Day at the
returns.
Zoo. Return. It's a hat on a hat.
Return to a day at the zoo. There we go. We're covering the animated
Return
Planet of the
to
Apes. This be Matt here. That
it's
be
Mark doing
um
whatever the hell I'm doing today, I guess.
some apes do have normal names. What's the one I wrote down?
Was there one like Steve from the live action
Yeah,
series?
yeah,
No,
yeah.
it was like
Dick Huntley.
Jared.
That's it. There was an ape
Oh,
named Dick Huntley, which
wow,
also
that's
sounds kind of
dirty.
like a weird name now that when you think about
That's pretty dirty.
it. Dick Huntley. I mean, because
Like
other
if I said that was a porn star's name, you wouldn't believe me because that sounds fake.
yeah, yeah, exactly. We got Zero, we got Urko, we got Dick Huntley. I guess Cornelius is kind of a normal name, but it's not one that you would just give anyone.
I've never met a human named Cornelius, if that helps.
The first person in my family to come to America was apparently a Cornelius Comages, but that was in the 17th
Hmm.
century.
That definitely sounds like an explorer name.
No, this was more like a settler name.
Okay. But
This was
still,
after the settler wave or the
well, they
settler wave,
explored more
after
than
the
you did.
explorer wave. They explored more than I did, sure. I don't know. Living in the past, you just have to explore more just by, default.
Yeah, going to forage for food
You need to
is
explore a place
exploring.
to take a crap, don't you?
Yeah, you'd explore set like place to throw your put sticks on the ground that you lie down on.
Yeah. Um,
Anyway,
Wearing t-shirts in Arctic weather.
yeah, exploring that.
Uh,
Oh boy. So there's a lot of it this week. And
Laguna Pearl. I was gonna say Pearl. Laguna
there's a girl in
Peril.
there.
You have a Pearl Lagoon, I guess, and Terror on Ice Mountain. So the titles just keep
Yeah.
hitting. If nothing else, we're gonna give the show, some fun titles.
Yeah, they're definitely better. They're all better than the Phantom Menace.
That could be a title for the series, though. That would be fine.
It's true.
Mutants could
But
be
you
like
know what? These are
that.
better.
Okay,
What
yes.
if Star Wars Episode 1 was just called Lagoon of Peril?
Then it would have
Okay.
been all the what is Jar Jar's people called? Gundams? Not Gundams, is it?
Gundam. Yeah, they're
Oh, it
Gundams.
is Gundams.
No, they're
Gundam,
Gungans.
Gungans.
They're
There we go.
Gungans, but then
Gundam's the mech, right? Gungans is the Jar Jar race.
Gungans. But sometimes George Lucas would pronounce it Gungans because he
Oh,
didn't actually think about what he was doing before he did it.
do they live in a lagoon?
Yeah, they live in like a lake, I think,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. What? Yeah. I guess
I like
lagoon's like a ocean lake, basically, right? It's like part of the ocean, but it's kind of off to the side. Is that how lagoons work?
I think they're kind of just like the blue people from the second Black Panther movie.
You're thinking of the Blue Lagoon there.
Yeah, but they're like blue people though.
Ah, Brooke Shields is blue.
No,
Okay.
unless she's sad.
Hmm. Well, I guess throw out whatever trivia you're gonna throw out on this.
Okay. Episode 5, Lagoon of Peril, was written by John Christopher Strong III. He was born in 1936, and something that jumps out at me immediately is his second credit, after one episode of Scooby-Doo, is the creator of The John Strong Show. The IMDb description says he delves into hot-button topics with controversial guests. It ran on LA's KTTV 11 from 1971 through 1972. That's just a few years before this. The flyer for it has a picture of John Strong against an American flag backdrop. And it has this following text. John Strong is a blank, and he'll
Okay.
prove it every Saturday night at 10:30. The star of this lively topical 1-hour talk show is attractive, articulate, and often abrasive. This dynamic, penetrating television personality is certain to pique the viewers from far left as well as far right, not to mention the middle of the roaders and the silent majority. People will love him or hate him, but all will be fascinated by the subjects that come under his probing.
Was
No
there actually a
subject is
blank, or
sacred.
did you do that? Did
Yes,
you self? Okay, there's a
it
blank.
says
Good.
John Strong is a blank exclamation point.
Mm.
I don't know what they even mean. Do they want you to insert a curse word?
That's
I don't
that's what
know.
that's why I'm asking. I'm like, did they put something too horrible to say in 2025?
I think just in the 70s you put a blank and then you would think like jerk. I
Mm.
don't even know. But no subject is sacred to John, and Channel 11 viewers can look for the biggest names in politics, show business, and the man on the street with something to say to join the debate. An exciting tradition is about to reemerge at KTTV. John Strong is still a blank, and that blank will put large audience gains in the rating books for KTTV on Saturday nights. That last part makes me think this is just like an investor pitch or something.
Yeah, I've lost the plot. Is this this is the guy who wrote the episode?
Yes,
Okay. Well, blank wrote this episode then. Okay.
yes, a blank. He is pretty handsome though.
Ooh.
Anyway, penetrating. He wrote for a few other cartoons, such as Super Friends, and had several producer credits on some 80s action schlock, as well as the Garbage Pail Kids movie. Strong passed away in 2024 at the age of 87, but will be back to write one more episode of Return to the Planet of the Apes.
Read that sentence one more time and think about the grammar.
Strong passed away in 2024 at the age of 87, but will be back to write one more episode of Return of the Planet of the Apes before that. I forgot to put before.
Okay, sorry. I just had to call it out because it was funny. Is
Uh, he's
that the
coming back
trivia?
next year to write another episode of this. Episode 6, Terror on Ice Mountain, is written by Bruce Shelley. He doesn't have an IMDb bio, but he has a more extensive resume than many people who worked on the show. He wrote episodes of Me and the Chimp, MASH, Fantasy Island, Fame, Dallas, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Super Mario and Zelda animated series from the 80s, Captain Planet, the Planeteers, Matlock, and his most recent credit was on Thundercats Roar from 2020. That's the one everyone hated, where all of them look cartoonish. I mean, not I know it's cartoon. They're all cartoons, but they look like
They were cartoons from the start.
super cartoon,
Hmm.
extra childish. He'll be back for one more episode of the series as well. Our second astronaut, Bill, is voiced by Tom Williams. He was born in Chicago in 1929 and worked as a radio announcer in both Chicago and Atlanta, and worked in special services during the Korean War, and had a stage career performing in more than 30 musicals, all of that before his TV career started. And when it did start, he would mostly do voiceovers. Return of the Planet of the Apes was his biggest role thus far and was his sixth credit. The following shows coming later are just some of the shows that credit him as voicing a baby. And I have no idea if that means he recorded one stock recording of a baby that was reused, or if he just went around doing baby voices as his specialty. Alice, Mama's Family, Night Court, 30 something, Murphy Brown, Newhart, My Two Dads, Saved by the Bell, The Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and Holding the Baby. That's probably about half of them. Anyway, he passed away in 2018 at the age of 89 and is now doing a baby voice in the afterlife.
That is fun. Like you just bring in a full grown ass man, stood in front of a mic, he just starts going.
Yeah, and keep in mind all those were like, 80s and 90s series pretty much. So, and he was born in 29, so he was
Not a baby.
pretty much, yeah, he was his 50s when he started doing baby voice.
What do you do at parties when people ask you what you do? You're like, I sell meth.
I think he just made like unflinching eye contact with him and started doing baby noises.
Wow, you are a master at that. I can feel your skill at this cocktail party.
Yeah, people just back away slowly.
I guess that you are finished with trivia, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, then I am starting with summaries. Lagoon of Peril. After a guerrilla soldier reports seeing a spaceship crash with a human crew, General Urko leads a military expedition into the Forbidden Zone, accompanied by Dr. Zaius and some reporters and normal cars for some reason. Bill and Chef, who are of course two of those human astronauts, get word of this and try to reach their submerged craft first. They manage this, retrieve a laser drill, and then blow the thing up real good. This attracts the attention of a lagoon serpent monster, which they ward off with a laser drill. The apes arrive, see the serpent, and Dr. Zaius assumes that this is actually what the gorilla soldiers saw. Terror on Ice Mountain. Cornelius discovers the children's book, A Day at the Zoo, along with plans for a hot air balloon. The former is a problem as it depicts clothed humans observing apes in cages, and if common knowledge would lead to an ape liquidation of humans. General Urko unexpectedly shows up to prove this point. The latter lacks the plans for a hot air balloon steering mechanism, so Zira and Cornelius find Bill and Jeff to fill in the details. They build the thing in what seems like 10 minutes at most, and Bill and Cornelius go for a ride. Bill's still in his t-shirt. They crash in the frigid mountains. Gorillas are on patrol, but the duo is fortunately discovered by the ape sage community of Mount Gar. In fact, when the gorilla soldiers finally catch up, the Mount Gar god Kygor, who is basically King Kong, drives them away. Cornelius entrusts a day at the zoo to the High Lama, and the two go home so that Zero can amputate Bill's frostbitten arms. I inferred the last part.
Yeah, it's serialized, right? Not
Yeah,
anymore, I guess.
yeah. Well, not at all. No more serialization. Okay, they were doing it so
I'm
well. It's
not
so
sure.
surprising up to this point. We'll find out. Yeah.
I know that this was Terror on Ice Mountain is episode 12 in production order.
Oh. I mean, you
So,
you could lessen the serialization. You could do like, the late 90s thing where it's kind of like half serialized, half not. Yeah. I feel like they have to remember a few things that happened in the past, but yeah, most 70s cartoons would not. So this one's
mm.
already kind of like doing it differently in that way. I'll be curious to see how it rolls. By the way, I did look up the Thundercats roar and it does look terrible.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
I was like, it can't be that bad, can it? Ooh, it can be that bad. Okay.
Yeah, there was one that came out a few years before that that was kind of anime influenced, and it was.
I think that's the one I caught wind of because that's what I was expecting to see when you said more cartoony,
Mm.
and then I saw the one you actually. Although,
That
yeah,
one was
this.
okay, but
Mm,
there was an episode of it I watched. It was kind of early on where there was a whole thing where they met some other tribe and they helped them with something, and then at the end it had like a flashback to a bunch of things that happened earlier the same episode, and it lasted like 30 seconds, and I got really mad and turned it off.
okay. Well, just in case you forgot. I mean, I guess this has to like remind you of too much stuff as well.
No, this is bad, but it doesn't think I'm stupid at least.
Where is the
It,
actual Lagoon of Peril?
Ohio.
Oh, that's a
That's
Lake
it.
of Peril.
I'll say okay. I'll say this for both of these episodes is that I am starting to I'm getting the feeling that this is actually a planet, which is cool because no other Planet of the Apes media makes me feel like it's a planet. It's
Well, the
always just
live
like
action
a
show showed
city
us
of the
other
apes.
communities as well, though,
A
right?
little bit, but it didn't go over a bunch of frozen mountains and into a lagoon with a sea monster in it. It's like it does feel appropriately epic in a way that maybe a modern movie would feel
Okay,
or
that's
modern
cool.
series. I think the series is starting to like sell itself. You know what I mean?
It is. Yeah, there is getting to be more like interesting, weird stuff in it. Although the voice acting is still kind of a raw spot,
Mhm.
especially with Cornelius and Zira.
And Zero are terrible. I don't know what I anyway. I took a note that he said something like Zero, you're a genius, and it was the worst line delivery I've ever heard.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
Yeah.
But anyway, my Lagoon of Peril, I guess, is have you heard of Cotino?
Is that
We were just
cheese?
No, we were just talking about Margaritaville, right? So in
Hmm.
Palm Springs, Disney it's part of their theme park division is building kind of like they call it Cotino, it's story living. And they built like a fake lagoon like next to the Salton Sea. It's like, hey, why would you do that? You're gonna have the same problem.
Is that sort of like the what is it? Celebration? This
No,
city?
no, no. This is a well, I think it's more like Margaritaville, but it's just you pay like you pay up in the upper ones or the low twos, being million
Mm-hmm.
dollars
Of
to
course.
yeah.
No, I thought you were talking about thousands. Yeah.
And then you have to pay extra to join their club, so because they, like Club 33 in the theme park. So of course Katina's like, well, if you want
Yeah.
to go, you have to pay extra to be in the special club. So
Ugh.
but yeah, they built a not Salt and Sea size. I should be realistic here, but they built basically a lake-sized pool there is basically what
Hmm.
happened. So
Hmm.
it's their lagoon.
Okay. That
Okay.
sounds fun.
It'll be interesting in 20 years when Disney's given it up and the place is run down.
I think in 20 years from now, I don't know what to think. Maybe 20 years from now,
The
society
apes
will
will have
break
taken
down.
over. The apes will take over
Yeah.
by then.
No, like think about what Disney World would be like if the world was all Mad Maxed out. Like basically the most powerful people, the most dangerous people are going to take Disney World. Like that's a given. Like
And
the
they're gonna
most
dress up like the Lost
terrifying.
Boys.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you're going to be the most terrifying people you've ever met will all be living in like the Mexico pavilion. It's gonna be. I did not mean that as like a racial thing. I mean, they'll be living in all the
If
country
if if you've
pavilions.
been to Epcot, you know that the Mexican Pavilion's the first
It
place you would
has,
take over. It's
yeah,
got a
it
fake
has the
sky
best boat ride
and
in the
the
world.
best boat ride. Yes. Uh, Now this ape city, of course, it is so suburban. Do you think they have an ape McDonald's? Ape Donald's?
I think. I don't know. I'm confused by the limitations of ape ingenuity because
They have TV. They can't fly.
they can't fly. They are so afraid of humans that if a spaceship exists, they think their entire planet is in danger. It's like even the most paranoid of humans now, I don't think they believe that if a spaceship exists, then our planet's doomed. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's
Well, actually, we saw that in the third Ape movie. We saw exactly that situation. Escape from the Planet of the Apes is literally about that.
is extremely frustrating to me that it's like Urko is so afraid of humans that he's just looking so hard for any evidence that will justify him killing all of them, but he won't just kill them. It's
Hmm.
like it's so frustrating to me that I'm like I put in my notes, just kill them, just do it. I'm so tired of watching him like scavenge around for you know what I mean? I'm so tired of him like trying to justify this to trying to go through the proper channels desperately. Like just do it, man. You want to kill them anyway,
No,
just
but
do
we
it.
worked that out from. I know this isn't the same Urko, but we worked
It's
that out in
not.
the live action series that Urko has never killed anyone. If he did, he'd flip out. He'd be like, "Oh my God, what have I done?" Because
Yeah, that's completely different. That is even no, that we know these two characters, both named Urko, are more different from each other than almost any whatever named. They're different than any two Zaius's or Cornelius's. They're different. This is a different Urko. He is
I
far
mean,
more
this
obsessed.
I think this is really more like Ursus from the movies, and they just like, oh
Hmm.
well, people remember Urko because that was last year production wise, so he's Urko,
Yeah.
even though he should be Ursus.
No, I guess
Ursus.
remember the Urko from the live action series would do things like spend a week fixing a horse race. Like this isn't that guy at
Yeah.
all.
Um. No, I thought this was funny. One, the Lagoon of Peril, the second half of the episode, I enjoyed quite a bit, but the first half was pretty rough because they have to repeat the
Yeah.
exact same plot point like in four scenes in a row. So that was frustrating.
Hmm.
I noticed that I think the first time in ape media they say Planet of the Apes. This could be a
Yes.
danger to the planet, and then they proceed to say it like eight more times throughout the episode, and then write it down in a
Yeah.
newspaper.
That was so dumb. The newspaper headline saying "Planet of the Apes safe." Like, what are you talking
That's
about?
because Taylor is not here. And then yeah.
I mean, okay, I guess if you extrapolate that, then I guess one smart human is very dangerous to the planet of the apes.
Yeah.
But,
Here,
but
here,
still, I think you'd be way more afraid of the people with mind powers who live underground than of like of the Nova or whoever
yeah, but the
sort of
apes
learning
still
to
don't
think.
really know. They know the hallucinations, but the mutants have properly kept them away, or whatever they are called. I forgot. The underdwellers. Yeah.
Well, and here we get to the part of the episode that's uh, unquestionably the best part, which
Oh,
is
first,
when
first,
they.
before we get to that, two
Okay.
notes. 6 minutes in, still basically the same plot point, and then I asked the question: Can an ape be a cub reporter?
You could be. Yeah, sure. If a
Okay.
human can be a cub reporter, then an ape can.
Okay. Sorry, you were moving on to the next part of the episode where it
Oh,
actually became like good. No, in the
yeah.
first part where they are hitting the same beats, I still kind of the fun part about this series is just seeing them trying to do like, the modern apes as opposed to the primitive apes.
Yeah, but it feels like they're not committing to it because we established that they can't make balloons and things like that, which is
But they
strange.
can
They
build like
obviously can't
Rolls
make airplanes.
Royces to follow their tanks through the desert. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're great at building cars. I'm just like, can you guys just make airplanes?
No,
I guess not.
no, they
I
can't.
think
I mean,
that
that's
that's
not in this
coming.
episode. As in terms of Lagoon of
Uh,
Peril, we don't know anyway, because we get the only thing we get in the sky in this episode is a burning ape skull. That was pretty metal and awesome.
which is the best part of the series so far. It's just an ape skull with fire coming out of its eye holes and its mouth hole, and it's just like, and Zeus is starting to, maybe the underdwellers were reaching a little far, and maybe that tipped Zeus off to like that's not real, because it's ridiculous, but it was awesome.
Yeah, it seems like that is funny because this doesn't happen in the movies because it's just in Beneath the Planet of the Apes, but it's like everyone's pretty much resistant to these hallucinations now. Like
Yeah, well,
apes and
that's
humans, like they don't matter anymore.
yeah, you can't keep using those.
Right.
Yeah, they're just conveniently bring up, oh, it's the underdwellers doing this. We don't have time to deal with it. They said we'll find out how they're doing it someday, but not now.
By the way, does
Um,
this episode suggest that the humans, I mean the ones that actually have been living here, do have all language? It's just not English, which
Humanoids.
is humanoids. Yeah, they seem to have all. I guess Nova keeps saying the same thing, but
She said gorilla, which I was yeah. She says some English.
she says
Then she
off
kept saying
woo.
pollo, pollo,
Yeah, yeah.
pollo.
So, but I'm like, it seems like the humans do
No.
have all language
Eh,
and why would it be English 2,000 years in the future?
I mean, why would the apes speak English?
That's a bigger question, but I wasn't addressing that one.
Everyone speaks English all the time. It's just the universal language.
It's a
Even
universal language.
Klingons.
Hmm.
Even Klingons speak it
Well,
sometimes.
except for Shakespeare, you have to read that in the original Klingon.
Of course. But this isn't Shakespeare.
So apes are
Um,
dumb for not knowing the human language, which seems to be relatively simple. Zira
yeah,
should know it if no one else. Zira should be able to talk to Nova because Nova has words to say. It might be like 10 words, but she's got something to say.
I don't feel like Nova is very useful. I think she's just there to give Judy's voice actor something to do.
Yeah. Oh, with my plots, I'm writing and mention her because I'm like, well, she's just there, right? I mean, she shows them the way to the lagoon, but I mean, whatever.
Well, she's clearly trying to warn them about the sea monster, but does a bad job of
Mm.
it.
Yeah, because
And
you and I didn't expect the sea monster till it shows up, right? So,
yeah, because why would I think a sea monster be on the Planet of the Apes? It's a totally different story. But I guess giant spider, sea monster, giant gorilla, whatever.
I assume this is like having a giant sea creature in the Hudson River because they're still close to I mean, the Forbidden Zone is New York City, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Hudson River has these things in it now because 2,000 years is not enough evolution time.
Yeah, well, maybe something is just getting started now, and it'll get there by
Mm,
then.
okay. Um, yeah, they have a lot of interesting chemicals in the Hudson River.
I'd think that things generally don't grow bigger over time because, I mean, naturally, because it's not very efficient.
Mm.
That's why things get smaller. Dinosaurs got smaller. They
Make
turn
sure to
into chickens.
tell that to evolution. Make next time you meet evolution.
And it's like, okay, humans are getting taller, but they're, giants die really quick. So I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Mm. Um,
It's nuclear radiation is the only real the real explanation for why they
I
got
guess
big.
in the 70s we have to assume that this is nuclear, right? Because now we got the more
Yeah.
modern Planet Apes where it's like viral. So,
Hmm.
uh, but yeah, some radiation.
Yeah.
We'll use the Godzilla clause.
Yeah. Speaking of Godzilla, well, he's not Godzilla, he's more like King Kong. It's
That's the next
so
episode.
terror on. Well, it was convenient that the sea monster just t- convinced the gorillas that nothing happened. They're just like, oh,
Okay.
it wasn't a capsule, it was just the sea monster.
So I got three more things on Lagoon Apparel
Oh,
first.
sure.
Yeah. One, I think it's funny that Jeff takes his shirt off and then Bill jumps into the water. And then Bill instantly has his shirt on. Jeff instantly has his shirt on again later. There's one shot
I
where he
didn't
doesn't, the
notice
next
that.
shot he does. Oh, I noticed that that was bad animation, but and then there's
Yeah.
one shot where it seems he has it off again, then the next shot he has it on again. So, and he's not the one that even got into the water. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh my
Um,
god.
there is the we do get one, I guess it's Urko quote, which I just wrote the quote down. I didn't write down who say, but this is TV live action worthy Urko quote. You'd better be more afraid of me than you are of nothing.
Yeah,
That was a
that was a
great
good
quote.
that was a good line, yes.
Okay. Last thing, Apollo capsules. I don't think they had self-destruct mechanisms. I mean, they'd probably give the astronauts like a cyanide capsule, but they didn't have self-destructs.
Well, before they did whatever that this capsule did, it did something, didn't it? Go through time. I mean, it went through time. Didn't it go light speed or something? I don't remember what the deal was with the.
I assume it did. Yeah, because they're in the first episode, they're looking at the clock, right? So,
Yeah,
which Jane seems surprised, Judy seems surprised by, right? So, um, she should know what's going on because she's an astronaut in this ship.
I never know. A lot of times, characters in this series seem surprised, and I have no idea why.
Yeah, we the live action on those guys, we kept piling on like how many weird esoteric topics they were masters in. Bill and Jeff, I guess now are hot air balloon masters. They know all about them.
Yep.
Because I mean, if you went to the future and then the chimpanzees were like, "Oh, can you help us with the steering mechanism for a hot air balloon?" You lived back then, so you should know. It's like the hell I do.
I mean, I would pretend to know, but then I would just be like, I can't go on this balloon. I'm afraid of heights. You do
Mm,
it, and then
right,
they'd die.
right. Well, that's what Zira said was going to happen anyway, right?
That was one of the weirdest
Zira
when
only wants to experiment with Cornelius on the ground in the sack.
when when a little later when she says they're going to die and then just says poor Cornelius. That's such a strange reaction. Like if your if your like partner was off in a hot air balloon, you were sure they're about to die, you would go, "Oh, poor Mimi." You wouldn't do that. That's insane. That doesn't make any sense.
Also, what I loved is at the beginning they have the day at the zoo book, right? So that needs
Yeah.
to be kept a secret. And then Urko shows up, and then he leaves, and like, we need to find a place to hide the book. And then the camera lingers on their chair for like 20
Can we?
seconds. I'm like, don't hide it, which they don't. They don't even talk about
Uh,
hiding it there. I just thought that was like a weird bit of filmmaking or animation where it's like they're talking about and focusing on his chair like they're gonna put it in the chair.
this is literally the second time in 3 episodes, I think, that they like are yeah, it's the second time in 3 episodes where it's like they're specifically helping the humans do something and somebody shows up and it's like, hey, I thought you would I would need to make sure that you're not helping the it's like the specifically Urko visits them is like, hey, I heard you were digging up artifacts.
Urko's actually pretty obsessed with them.
Yeah,
He wants to be a thruple.
that makes sense.
He wants to experiment with them on the ground as well.
It'd be funny if it was just Dr. Zaius and Urko fighting over them.
Mm.
Fighting over the third wheel, but they won't do it together though.
What is ape society like? If an orangutan loves a chimpanzee, is that okay in ape society?
I thought that kind of wasn't it? Isn't it kind of like caste system, vaguely Puritan religion?
Maybe if it's just for fun, which is what all Urko's looking for. He's just looking for a
I'm
bit of fun. So
pretty sure apes, like actual apes, if they got to this
no, I
point, they
don't
would
think
be
a real
doing horrible
orangutan's hooking
stuff.
up with a chimpanzee, and I don't think in like act in our actual world that that happens. I don't know. I
They
could be wrong. I'm not an ape scientist.
they
I'm
would
not.
be crapping on the ground and banging each other all the time and throwing poop at each other, and it would be horrible. But they would, also speak proper English.
An orangutan spit on my mom.
Ugh, why?
We were at the Chalseyama Zoo and she not far when they were visiting here, and she was actually saying something about how she didn't think the orangutan seemed that smart, and then one of them spit on her from like 10 feet away. So I hate to say it, but she slightly might have deserved it because she was talking smack about the orangutans, and then they spit on her.
My favorite ape thing. I'm sure I've already mentioned this on this podcast, but it was just like going to like the gorilla enclosure, and there's a gorilla sitting at the top of a hill on a log facing away from all the from the windows from all the visitors, and he's like pooping and it's rolling down the hill, and he's like looking back over his shoulder like extremely hatefully as his poop just keeps rolling down the hill. It was
Check
great.
that out. Um, let's see. So I put it in my plot summary. I was like, it seemed like they built that balloon in about 10 minutes at most. Did you get that have that impression as well?
Yeah, I was also confused at how they kept talking about how certain things wouldn't work just by staring at the blueprints. Like you do have to experiment a little bit. I mean, I know you don't necessarily have to go up in the balloon to test it, like a full size balloon, but you can't necessarily rule things out
Well, that's why
working
I'm
just by
throwing on these
staring at
guys.
it.
It's their first weird specific knowledge, which was kind of a hallmark of the live action series. So I was like,
Yeah.
these guys are balloon freaks.
Yeah, and apparently ape balloons don't work.
Right. Oh, they've been
Apes tried
trying.
to make
Well,
balloons,
they've
but they
used a
don't work.
different
They
they
always
used a
crash.
different design. Yeah.
They always crash.
Right. Paper airplanes are like 2,000 years old, you know. They would have had to build them
Hmm.
out papyrus back then, I bet. And no one
Yeah,
thought to build another plane. I mean, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, if we've had paper airplanes for 2,000 years, but we've only had planes for like a little more than 100 years, so I guess it's not completely ridiculous that the apes would not be in the sky.
we we have to we have to give humans something that makes them special, and it's that they can make flying machines, and that's it. And
uh,
that they're less horrible.
mm. Well, let's see. I feel like we're gonna get more flying machines in the show, so we'll see where it goes. Maybe the apes do
We
have
are.
flight. We'll retroactively just they are able to fly later. I don't know. That would be real
Um,
funny. I didn't,
the the episode I thought I was watching was called like Wings of Steel or something like
there
that,
we
and
go. That
that
sounds like an
was
airplane.
I forgot to put in the trivia that this was this was 12th in production order and it was aired 6th. So yeah,
Serialization out the window.
the
Gotcha.
the one
Um,
the one that was going to be 6th was aired 8th, so that will be next week.
the other thing is, yeah, why is Bill getting in that thing and flying into the mountains in his t-shirt? Eventually, once the guru apes find him, they give him a jacket, so it wasn't an animation thing. They could have put a jacket on him from the start. And then Cornelius is like, "I'm freezing, I'm cold," and he's wearing a full-on robe, right? Bill's in a t-shirt, like he doesn't seem to care, like the cold doesn't affect him.
There was a weird thing where Cornelius was stuck in the ice frozen, but then Bill was just carrying him
Right.
in a frame later. And I'm like, what are you carrying him because did he literally freeze into a block and he can't move? Like that was so strange.
No, I
I
think he
don't
was just
know.
weak from the cold. I guess they're in the
Yeah,
Poconos. I mean, those,
it's pretty weak.
the
Well, they're
future
not. They're
Poconos.
uncharted. Cornelius knows everything that's on a map, and he knows that those
Because he
mountains are
hangs
not
out in
on
the
maps.
he hangs out in the Forbidden Zone. That's why. That's like his jam.
He's the cartographer.
He's always doing archaeological digs, right? So he goes to lots of
Mm.
weird places. He knows.
But also, why are the apes not like charting mountains? Seems like that would be pretty easy. They could chart anything. They've had 2,000 years to chart
Well, they don't
mountains.
have flying machines.
That's it. You have to have a flying machine to chart because I'm pretty sure that mountains have been charted for a lot
Cable
longer than
cars
we've had.
seem fine though.
They should just that's true. It's true unless someone finds them and starts axing the line like
It, it
those
it was weird
poor
to see that.
generic soldier apes.
Yeah, when they take that, yeah, generic soldier apes, and then the guru apes are like taking them up in a cable car. I'm like, huh, it's weird that works. Did the apes build a cable car? Because I feel like the human
I
cable car would no longer be working.
think Krygor built it.
Ooh, Kygor, Kyger,
Kygor, sorry,
Kyger,
Kygor.
Kyger. It was like Tiger, but it was Kyger.
I was like, what is the sign or part of it's going to be covered? I was trying to think of what I was like. It can't be Kroger, right? They wouldn't do a sponsorship for a grocery store.
Were they chanting in the cable car? Sorry, I'm obsessed with the cable car now.
I don't think they were. I think they were just hanging out with the guru, and he was like, "We'll take you to see Kygor," and then
Mm.
they'd take them to see Kygor, and Kygor helps
Kygor is
them.
pretty awesome. Are you gonna pray to
Yeah,
Kygor? Are you
I'll pray
praying to
to
Kygor?
Kygor tonight.
Okay.
But then the guru says, "Thanks for your help," and I don't think they did anything. Did they do anything? They just show up.
They showed up. The gorillas got scared away by Kygor. They gave him the book. Maybe he's
I
happy to have a
guess
book to read.
he said it before they gave him the book.
Oh yeah, okay. Thanks for your help. Maybe they were just lonely and them being there helped them be social.
He's like, Kygor has a purpose. That's the best thing you can do is give Kygor someone to help.
Did you see that coming? Because even when I saw the large statue, I was like,
No,
oh, it's. And then when he breaks out and becomes King Kong, I was like, yeah.
I did not see that coming. Yes, it was awesome.
I mean that matches the flaming ape skull in the sky, right?
Yeah,
Suddenly King Kong.
well, yeah. I mean, sort of. He wasn't shooting fire though.
No, he
Anyway,
wasn't. Okay.
but
Uh,
he was helpful, whereas the skull shooting fire was not helpful at all. It didn't do anything.
no, that was just awesome. Well, as you said, Bill and Cornelius didn't do anything either, and they still got to thank you.
If you reboot this now, like, what kind of stuff are you gonna show the apes to make them like lose their mind?
Hmm.
I feel like I feel like really, if you use your
You mean like I'm the
imagination,
mutants and I'm giving them hallucinations?
yeah, I don't think you can do anything that would not make the TV show NC-17.
I'll
You know
say
what I mean?
flying barrage of poo.
Like horrified. Now, like you want like you know like babies turned inside out and stuff like that. You want to like
Yeah.
show them the most horrible things to like completely devastate their mind.
I mean, this show still starts off with inverted crucifixions, doesn't it, in the credits?
It does. What's like, but that's just the start. I
Yeah.
don't know what's the worst. What's the most horrible imagery that's been? I guess the most horrible imagery in any of the Planet of the Apes stuff is the mutants taking their skin off to sing choruses in the second movie.
Hymnals.
Hymnals. Yeah, I don't think
Or
that's ever going to be
hymns. Hymnals
topped.
the book, isn't it? Hymns.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
I
seeing
don't
you're
think you top that
thinking.
in a family film.
Are we just talking old school apes or are we talking the newer ones, which I haven't
Any
watched?
of them.
But yeah, the newer ones I guess don't get particularly too gory. It's just, like fur and a little blood usually.
Yeah, that's well, they're more mainstream. That's not necessarily like a bad thing. I think
Hmm.
they're good, but they're not freaky like the old stuff. They're not freaky like a floating flaming ape skull.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what I'm here for, really. I want the stuff that barely makes sense. That's kind of the ace in the hole for most of 70s apes. There's always
Hmm.
something they're like, wait, what, huh?
Yeah,
Any
hopefully things make sense, but also I mean things that are insane and don't make sense, but also are not annoying and just keep happening over and over. You know what I mean? Or not Nova just yelling Pollo over and over.
you want to start banana dealing some
Sure.
bananas?
Okay.
Back to
Um.
Lagoon of Peril,
Yeah. Lagoon
Peril.
of Peril. Lagoon of Peril. I'm gonna give it 4 bananas, 2 for the sea monster, and 2 for the skull.
Oh, see, I'm also going at four, but I'm going more subtractive because I'm
Hmm.
saying six because of the tooth, the sea monster in the skull, but minus two because the first 6 minutes of the episode do the same thing like 6 times. So down to
Yeah.
four. I agree with the four in the end. Yeah, four bananas. Uh,
Yeah.
how about Terror on Ice Mountain?
I'm gonna give it three, but I'm giving all three bananas to Kygor.
Oh, see, I'm going to six. I think Kygor needs more bananas. He can't have
Okay.
seven because it's not. He's big. He's a big boy.
Yeah,
Uh,
he probably wants more than three bananas. He'd be like really annoyed if I just gave him three
he'll
bananas.
be happy with my six. Honestly, that's probably too
Yeah.
few. Again, he's a big boy.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's like a tree of bananas.
a tree of bananas. Anyway, yeah, I like seeing the ape gurus and stuff. That was fun. So, uh, I like seeing the zoo thing again because I really liked in the live action one where they were right down in the BART system, the subway system, and that's how they learn from like the posters on the wall. So
Yeah.
I like that hitting that particular vibe. So
Well, yeah, and also that is Urko is coming to terms with it and it drives him insane, but then he just sort of picks himself up and goes on. If this Urko found anything like that, he would just be like, I'm giving the order to exterminate all humans, and that would just be it. Like I think the having will kill all humans if we find evidence of intelligence on the table makes the series more boring
mm.
because
We
if you
did
raise
give
the
the
stakes that
order an
high.
episode ago, right? Or in the last ones we did. He did give the order, but they rescinded the order.
Yeah, but it's just that's such a I don't know, that's just really uh-oh, we're gonna kill everyone or versus we're gonna capture these couple of guys and experiment on them is at least more
And then we're gonna race some horses and cheat.
yeah, because the idea that they're kind of able to exist. I don't know. I don't think that maybe it's just a bad feeling where like the idea that genocide is on the line here
Also, it's kind
is
of weird.
not great.
Just to change the topic slightly, but yeah, the live action one ends with a hot air balloon episode, and now we have another hot air balloon episode. And they're very different hot air balloon episodes. It's just, how many other is that a 70s thing? Do a lot of 70s shows have hot air balloon episodes? I think we talked about that when we did that one.
Yes, hang gliding was a big deal at the time, and that's why they did that one. Because remember, that wasn't like really a hot air balloon, it was more like a glider
Oh,
thing.
you're right. Yeah, that's when we are talking about hang gliding. Okay,
Yeah.
so sorry, I should rescind my note that they did two hot air balloon episodes then. Okay, they did not do that on the live action show.
Well, it was kind of not really memorable enough for you to remember what I think in both cases, the flying machine was kind of not super. It was definitely not the most memorable part
Yeah.
of this episode. It was just sort of a mechanism to get them to Kygor's domain.
And that's where we need to get to, Kygor's domain. That's where all of us need to go to. We are all praying to Kygor now.
Yeah, if you would like to send money to Kygor, then go to patreon.com/podcastio and pledge money to go directly to
I think you
Kygor.
need to do it more as an evangelist. If you want to save, send money to
Yeah.
Kygor. Go to podcastiopodcastius.org. You will hear the word of Films and Filth, where we talk about the highest and lowest rated IMDb episodes. The word of Luke loves Pokemon. That man loves Pokemon so much. The game show, which is what gamers screaming at each other. You've been on a lot recently, and I haven't not actually listened particularly recently. So maybe you talk about the game show.
Yeah, I mean it's me trying to stump people and then other people stump me and then it's great.
Mm,
Luke
obscenities are
asked me a bunch
spoken.
of you can get here Luke asked me a bunch of questions about Digimon and I awkwardly fumble my way through a quiz about it.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, we're wrapping up today then. As I said, all praise to Kygor. That do
Yep.
that. Okay, I guess I'll just hit the record then. Bye bye to anyone listening.